the fastest trajectory to destination at maximum safe velocity. Estimated time of arrival will be 45 minutes.
Eric, inform the engine room we will be going to 115% on the main cores.
Travel time reduced to 28 minutes. Caution, 115% on the main cores possible, but at extreme risk.
We'll break it to Belcher gently then. Tell him to activate ACE to assist. Attention crew, this is Dr. Freedom. Our destination is Skydark. The majority of you know its reputation, and I would not go there unless the situation was dire. Dr. Liberty is in serious umaguma, and time is short. I have no choice but to push the old girl past the red line to get there as quickly as possible. For the duration of this visit, the ship will remain in general quarters. The away team will consist of myself, Eric, Kung Fu Bob, and Cyborg Steve. Freedom out. Sorry, Chibuki. I need you to stay here on the ship. If things go sideways, you get the frill out of there and don't look back. I don't care if you have to blow out of that hangar at warp drive. That's an order.
We have cleared the Idano system. Hyperdrive available on your mark.
Okay, Chibuki, let's do it. Throttle up. Keep an eye on things up here. I'll be down in my quarters. Okay, so while I'm off down in my quarters, having a little me time and contemplating what will likely be our imminent destruction, let's take a look at the bridge of the Derbyshire. Now throw out all those images you've seen in the entertainment vids and all that nonsense about Captain Blaster or whatever his name was, and of course, there are no lens flares. The Derbyshire was designed with functionality in mind above all else, with just a dash of the classic military panache left over from her service days. In other words, we spent forever repainting over all the gray, green, and olive drab just to make this place look a little more comfortable. There are two conjoined stations forward by the view screen, with the yokes and various controls for maneuvering the ship. That's, of course, is helm and navigation. You can pilot the vessel from either side as necessary. Now off to the back of the bridge towards starboard, that's ops. This is where most of the operating processes of the ship are monitored and controlled, including defense fields, countermeasures, and of course point defense lasers, whatever you need to survive out in the dark. Of course, Eric has this panel rigged so that most ship functions can be rerouted to this station in the event of emergency. Across the way on the port side, this is the communications area. This is the panel that would normally be manned by Sparks, but since he's off on his, shall we say, prearranged trip to Argolis, he won't be taking part in this particular story. That's why Eric is currently doing double duty over on the ops station, monitoring all long-range and short-range communications. Okay, so I left the bridge, but I would never do so without knowing it's in very capable hands. So let's go ahead and introduce you to some of the members of the crew that you've not quite formally met yet. Now, the Derbyshire in her heyday had a standard crew complement of roughly 124. These days, thanks to the wonders of automation, we usually run with a crew of around 45. No worries though, we won't be meeting all 45, so let's just stick to the key players. Now Eric, you already know, that dome-headed deliverer of bad news. Reliable, yes. Trustworthy? Well, most of the time. Sitting in the co-pilot chair is Chibuki Uki, native of the planet Kasherchek. Basically, he looks like a walking Kita dog. But don't mistake his puppy-like face for being, a complete nitwit or even innocent. He can get rough. He's been on the Derbyshire since about day one of my command, and has always been a reliable first mate. Okay, let's take a little trip down to the cargo hold. Right there in front of you doing his daily katas is Kung Fu Bob. And as you've noticed already, he's a 4-foot-tall, 4-armed bipedal mouse. Now, how did this happen? It's because Bob is a native of the planet Rodentia, where martial arts became a way of life thanks to the receiving of old Earth transmissions. I'm not kidding, it's not a joke. These guys worship Bruce Lee. He's one of their key gods now. But basically, here's a little tourist, info for you. You have not lived until you have visited the Temple of Chuk Norris on Rodentia. Alright, now back there standing in the corner, coming in at about 8 foot tall and weighing roughly about 900 to 1,000 pounds, is Cyborg Steve. Please don't mind the huge shoulder cannons, and all the big bristling weaponry that will suddenly spring out at any moment. The organic parts of Steve, well, the only one there is his brain, and that's in a box inside an armored chest unit. Steve was a member of the Rambonian Cyborg Special Forces, but retired and went into private practice, so to speak, a few years ago. He's been on the Derby for just a few months now, but trust me, Steve has already saved our bacon enough times. And of course, let's wind our way down to the engine room. Now, standing there, probably daydreaming, but acting like he is actually monitoring the equipment, is Belcher. Why do we call him that? Well, if you haven't guessed already, he has two eyes that look like they belong on a fish and a mouth that looks like it could swallow a small planet. His species communicates by belching. It takes a while to catch on to the various dialects, but if it had not been for the invention of soda pop, Belcher's people would likely have never had any type of known speech or language. Just think, not a single politician existed on their planet before soda pop came around. Kind of makes you wonder, don't it? And of course, that little box of tricks, almost looking like a wild, raving karaoke machine with arms, that's Ace. Now, Ace is the enotropic computerized engineer. Now, basically, Ace is there to help out with the various maintenance and repair duties. Basically, the little automated box of tricks. Now, you see, Eric and Ace, though, never seem to get along, which is why I love Ace. You should see these two go into a chess match. Oh, God, the last one they played was a short match, and that was a couple weeks. But Ace won, and Eric has never forgiven him. That should be everyone you need to know for now. Since I sent the bosun, Dr. Schofield, and Sparks, on that little trip to Argolis, well, that's going to be a long-range communication I am not looking forward to receiving. Well, if we're around to receive it, if we survive Skydark.
Why do you stare out that viewport? There is nothing to see out there but the luminescent outer striations of the hyperspatial corridor.
Well, if it isn't the one-eyed monster in a can.
You make fun of my appearance. Is it out of fear?
Eric, I've been making fun of you since the day you fell out of the sky on Arcturus 15 years ago.
Humor is a difficult concept for my race. It is yet another illogical humanoid trait.
How is it you've not even begun to fathom humor in all that time? Given the fact that your race has had their rears handed to them by so many silly illogical beings, you should have all developed a sense of humor by now.
You are deflecting my original question. Does the staring at nothing have to do with your concern for Dr. Liberty?
Eric, sometimes you take my breath away.
Do you share affection for her? Are you a bonded pair?
We are friends, Eric. Nothing more.
Your blood pressure is up, nerve activity is sporadic, and your breathing somewhat irregular. Tension is written all over your biorhythms.
Well, excuse me, Dr. Eric Medicine Alien. It's not like it's any of your business, but yes, we do share a bond.
I do not operate a business.
Eric, remember when I told you about being at the Battle of I Don't Know?
You mentioned it when we were planetside. What is the significance?
Libby was my squad leader. We both walked out of that mess, covered in confetti and rainbow-colored clown guts. We were the only survivors of the first wave.
A bond forged in battle? Understood.
Really? That would be very unlikely given your people and how they view life and emotions in general. Drop it, Eric.
Just because your father and grandfather were one of the few who had access to records regarding my race does not make you an expert in xenopsychology.
Keep your dome on and can it. Meanwhile, get down to the armory and tell Kung Fu Bob to break out the slug throwers. No energy weapons.
Slug throwers?
The M4 core keeps a Tetrion field in effect now on Skydark. Some moron blew a hole in the outer hull a few years back with a fusion pistol and decompressed an entire section. I guess, let me see, death of your customers and your salespeople? Kinda bad for business. So open carry is still permitted, but energy weapons of any kind will not function. Well, just a few more minutes to go. Let's get back to the bridge. I guess I've done enough moping for both of us.
I appreciate your enthusiasm.